Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome back to the old family farm here in Farming Simulator 19 with Delores Flofflebotham and myself, CWATTYESO. Delores has actually fertilised her fields, hence why there are some fertiliser pallets just behind her. I did say at the end of the last video, once she'd had a lunch, she was going to go do the field fertilising, and after she had a lunch, she come out and fertilised the fields. I just forgot to press the record button. So, hence why we have not done any videoing of us fertilising the fields. But we are now ready to seed the fields a little bit. Our chickens and everything are doing okay. We might need a little bit more wheat in a bit. We was going to harvest field 13 as well, weren't we? Okay, where is field 13? Oh, it's bloody miles away. You know what? I'm not going to do that then. Yeah. I'm not travelling to field 13. It's too far away. And I've got seeding to do now, so I've emptied the fertiliser spreader. We could put lime and stuff back in it at some point. Now I am thinking what to plant or what to sow on the fields that we have now just finished fertilising. Now we could use our cedar, our Amazoni cedar there, which is 3 metres, which is a little bit, like I say, on the small and restrictive side. Or we can look and see what else we could buy. So let's have a look first of all at cedars and see what we've got potentially. We've got the corn, which would work well with our power harrow and our subsoiler. The trouble is I need a tractor with a front hitch to get the tank on. There's the Vader stat, which is 6 metres, which is nice looking, which offers direct seeding. Doesn't need to be cultivated or ploughed necessarily. Have we got any other smallish stuff? That's 3 metres, and we've just got a new mod today, the S-Pro 3000, which is that one. This is new to the mod hub today. Sadly, 3 metres. So, not great. Planters, we've got a few options. We've got the... I can't even pronounce that. Vernland. The Vernland, which is 4.5 metres, and it does corn, sunflowers, soybeans, sugar beet. That looks like sugar beet. Could be oilseed radish, of course, and cotton. We've got the Lemkin, which is 6 metres, which again is nice. However, it does require a front tank, which I can't fit on any of my vehicles. The Vader stat again needs a front tank, which we don't have access to. And then they start getting a bit big. However, there's the planter here at 5.4 metres, and it will actually seed and fertilise. I reckon we'll go for that. And we could plant some corn and sunflowers and stuff, couldn't we? Because I don't believe Delores has anything like that in her silo. Well, we've got a little bit of corn, obviously from our first harvest, and a tiny little bit of sunflowers, but not much. So, I'm thinking we need a planter anyway, otherwise we're just going to be doing the same crops over and over again. And at 54 grand, that's probably not a bad price. And if I lease it, it's even cheaper. So I'm going to lease it to start with. I'm not going to buy one outright. I'm going to test it, see how it works. And if it's all good, and it's all gravy, then what we can do, potentially, is update it. Is buy one of it ourselves. Now, another thing I want to just quickly check is on the mod front, because basically Stevie's done some updates to some of his mods, and I've done some updates to some of the mods myself. You may recall in the last video I was talking about the 6R and how it would be really useful if the 6R had narrow wheels. So we could use, because it's got the front PTO and the front hitch, we could actually use it to mow and stuff like that. It goes up to 300 horsepower, so it would be plenty. It could have a front loader as well. And basically we could use it to mow and do various things, but I was a bit concerned about the fact that it didn't have any crop-friendly tyres. It's got wide tyres and weights, it's got wheel weights, it's got rear twins, it's got twin wheels, it now has narrow twin back wheels, dual, because I've added these myself. I've modified this to include those wheels, and it also has narrow tyres. So I can get a 6R, which would be an upgrade over the 6M, two 6Ms that I've got, and basically we get a choice of tyres. Now that I think will be more stable. As we saw with the 6M when I was doing the bales, it tends to be a bit wobbly and off balance. The fact that we've got the wider jewels on the back would make that more stable. Now Stevie updated his own 6M, which I believe is what we've got. We've got the two 6Ms. Basically, he added twin narrows to the 6M, so I could change the John Deere, the black one, and give it twin narrows, narrow twin wheels, which would be quite cool. And the 6R, he's got again narrow twin wheels. Slightly different from the narrow wheels that I've put on the other one when I modified it. Hence why I've kept both mods, and I just renamed the ones that I changed to the 2017 version. They're not at all. It's just a way of me keeping the two that I've edited and added options to, as well as keeping obviously Stevie's versions. But I think if I was to buy a 6R, I would probably go for this version with that kind of wheel setup. And as I say, the black 6R, I will probably fit with the Stevie narrow jewels to give it a bit more stability when we're doing the bales and moving the bales, because it was a little bit rickety-rockety, wasn't it? But what we'll do is we'll go do some planting, and as I say, we'll do, I think, 2 fields of corn on fields 2 and 5, and then the other 3 fields that are directly in front of us, 3, 6 and 7, we'll do sunflowers on those. That kind of makes the most sense to me. And it's a little bit different from obviously the wheat and barley and oats that we've just been selling a lot of just recently and growing a lot of. Enables Delores to do a little bit more. We should have enough stuff in our silos to feed everything. So we need to fill this. Now the question is, have I got seed anywhere? And have I got fertiliser? Well, fertiliser I know we've got, because we just emptied a load out of the... Something else that has occurred to me as well, the refill stations, probably don't really need them. I know that sounds a bit crazy. Perhaps. Because it's not that far to the shop, is it? It's not that far to the shop. I might as well just drive down there when I need to refill something. You know? Kind of... A, they take up a lot of space, which I could use for other things, like sheds. Right, I need to put the little map on. And the only reason I put the little map on is so I've got the compass. Because what I'm going to do is obviously I'm going to set up a GPS course. There we go. And unfold. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. I detached it. Ooh. Right, Control S that. Snap terrain angle is going to be on. Auto width. Right, we need to shift the track, so just move that over a bit. That'll do. Log on to the GPS. Turn on the sower. Lower the sower down. And there we go. We are planting with our brand new 5.4 metre planter. Might as well carry right across. Because we're going to do this field as well. Look at that. It's magic. Get these fields, as I say, seeded quite quickly. Do you know what? I can't keep driving through the hedge. That's not realistic, is it? Alright, pallet's getting nice and full. Slowly building up our eggs. That reminds me, I will need to get a pallet full so I can take those and sell them at some point. And of course, for anybody wondering or out there thinking, yes, I am aware that the old family farm map has been updated by the mod authors, and we have got the family farm V2 map available now to download and play. However, I'm going to stick on the V1 version. And the reason for that is because, as far as I can tell, the only thing that they've changed between this version that I'm playing on currently and the V2 version is that the building, the red building in the middle of the farm that I use for storing all the tools and stuff in, they've turned that into the chicken sort of place. They've got rid of the actual chicken pen, which I've got which you can see over there. They've got rid of that. It's now just an empty space, and basically the chickens are now just free roaming about around the red building. The red building's been turned into like the chicken coop, so you can't store equipment in it anymore, which seems a bit daft. And then the chickens are just wandering all around the farm, which I feel is even dafter. So that's the only sort of noticeable changes. They've not added any extra fields or anything like that to the farm. I'm not aware of anything else that's been changed on the map, so I'm going to stay on this one. I'm going to stay on this map, the version 1 of the old family farm. I'm not going to update. Basically, sorry to anybody out there hoping to see the new version of the map, or if the original map makers have, by some sheer fluke, happened to chance to pause my channel and the videos and been watching it and seeing how I've played on it. Yeah, I'm not going to update. I like the red building in the middle of the farm for being a storage for my tools, and I like having the proper chicken coop with the chickens contained in it. Because if we're going to play super realistically on this, or as realistically as I'm willing to play, I don't want to be running over chickens when I'm driving around with my vehicles, which is effectively what's going to happen. I don't like the idea of free-range chickens. I prefer them to be in an actual enclosure. Right. So we've got 5.4 meters now on this planter, which is 2 meters wider than our cedar. So the cedar is something we're definitely going to have to look at replacing, but all my possible candidates and contenders do require us to have a tractor with a front hitch, so that's where the 6R is going to come in quite useful. And I apologise for the noise outside. It's obviously the children's school half-term week. It's a lovely day for February. Incredibly warm day. It's 15 degrees outside, which is freaking balmy for February, considering it's supposed to be winter, but they are out there making a right round. So we're getting planted. Gonna have 2 fields of corn, like I say, a couple of fields of sunflower. Means we get to use that nice new our header that we only used in the very first episode, the very original Delores harvest. But another good reason for doing this is because after we've planted these and we've harvested these crops, we will need to plough, which is when we get to look at doing the field extensions that we talked about previously. So it's going to speed up that part of the series a little bit. Otherwise I probably would have had to have done another 1 or 2 harvests if I was growing wheat and barley and stuff before we need to plough again. And ideally I would like to try and do things a bit different. I don't want every video to be a repetition of the same thing. It's kind of hard at the moment. But we are getting through this quite nicely. Now, something else I've done today off of camera, and I'm going to talk about it very briefly. I know it doesn't relate to this series at all, Well, I've actually created a dedicated server for FS19, and it's using the old dairy farm, the Jones Dairy Farm map. And as I say, it's a dedicated server that I will be hosting and be playing on, and it will be available to any of the channel subscribers, Twitch subscribers out there that want to play and participate and join me on the map. As I say, I will be doing some Twitch live streams over on that map. So be sure to follow the Twitch channel to get notified of the series of when I'm live. That way then you can get the details on how to join the server, how to download the mod pack that the server is using, so you've got all the mods, you know, because I have put all the mods that are installed on the server into one easy to download zip file that you just download and extract to your FS19 mod folder, and hey presto, you're done. You don't have to go off to hundreds of different websites to try and download mods like some people make you do, which is a nightmare. Why Giants haven't implemented a system where when you create the server it automatically uploads a copy of the map of the mods, so you can just download it when you go to join them, when you go to join the server? I don't know. Unless the mod hub mods, like Giants official mods, then it takes you to the page for those to download. But obviously nearly all the mods I use aren't Giants mods, because Giants are a bit slow at getting mods out. But yeah, there's going to be a multiplayer map on the Jones Dairy Farm, which is a map I've played a little bit. Oh, I've pressed the wrong button. I've cleared my GPS marker. Didn't want to do that. Quickly see if I can create another one. Still trying to get used to the key bindings with the joypad. And sometimes I press the wrong buttons. The key binding to activate the GPS. Left button, right button and X on the controller is what I've set it to. I might need to get some more seed, you know, before we're done. Certainly need some more seed before I can go and do the sunflowers on the other 3 fields. So yeah, we're at 70,000 at the minute, bank money wise. Obviously we've still got quite a bit of the loan that we took out outstanding, which is one of the reasons why I can't really push into the realms of a 6R just yet, tractor. But we will get there. Hopefully we can make, like I say, we're going to be making some money, hopefully off horses. They'll make us a good bit of cash. They'll probably help pay off the loan, to be quite honest, quite quickly. And if they start working well, I mean, we've got 4 at the minute. I could probably, if they work out quite well and we see how much money we make off those, I could probably extend that to maybe buying 6 horses next time round. more than 6 horses is a bit of a push as far as training them, riding them each day, which I do off camera, because obviously to ride 6 horses for 4 horses for, you know, nearly an hour is not going to be very entertaining for you guys to watch. I might ride one every now and then as just to break up a video, or if, you know, we finish some work and there's a bit of time left and there's something, you know, there's not really anything else spoiling on the farm, then I might hop on a horse quickly and just train one of them up for a bit. But I certainly won't be riding all 6 of them on camera. Or 4 of them, or however many we end up keeping at a time, because it just takes too long. And that's 10 real minutes, by the way, of riding around on them. Not 10 in-game minutes, which obviously goes by very quickly. Right, we'll go fill up we'll refill the fertiliser, because obviously we've got a couple of pallets spare from the spreader, because it doesn't actually use that much, that corn spreader we've got. Because obviously I originally bought that to do lime, and obviously it gets through lime a lot faster than it gets through fertiliser. So going to the store and filling that up with pallets of fertiliser wasn't all that intelligent, because I'm never going to use it all. Right, so those 2 fields are done with corn. We'll switch to sunflowers for our next round of planting. But what we will do is refill our I want some fertiliser, which is round here. Okay. And I'm going to want some seed, which is over here. As I say, I might get rid of these liquid fertiliser and herbicide stations, because we don't use that much. And it probably does on this type of farm, this size, work out cheaper to go and just buy a pallet when we need to fill the machine, because the daily maintenance and upkeep charges on those actual silos is probably ridiculous. It's incredibly ridiculous, I would think. It probably costs me more in maintenance than it does to actually buy the stuff as and when I need it. Like I say, we're going to get this field extended out, lengthened, to get a little bit more crop out of it, which will be very nice. I think some of this stuff's going to be 2-stage fertilised now. Because obviously some of it was already fertilised before I fertilised, hence why we've got some patchy bits which are different colours. So it's always good to fertilise it. Ideally though, you'd want to fertilise after you've ploughed, prior to cultivate, so you cultivate in the fertiliser. And then when you sow, you put in the next lot of fertiliser. Now the question is, can I do the other field at the same time with this track? Looks like I possibly can. I can do lift up, drive across, lower it down. We can sow this field at the same time. I do like this planter. It's a shame there isn't a seeder like it. You know what? I could probably make one. I could probably load this model in Giant's editor, convert it to do normal seed, normal crops, and then put it in the game. So then we'd have a version that does normal crops as well. Because 5.4 meters is a good sort of size, good width. Like I say, it's a little bit. Almost 1.5 meters wider than our harrows, power harrows and ploughs. So it should mean we can seed the fields a little bit quicker, but it's still a pretty small implement for manoeuvring. I think some of the 6 meter ones might be getting a little bit too big. Something I might have to look at and have a play with off camera, see if I can make the mod. Or even convert this one, just so it does seeds and plants everything. That would be easy to do. It's just basically changing a single line in the XML file to add the extra crop types. Then it could do barley, wheat, canola, soybeans, potatoes. I could have it plant everything for me. Though potatoes is probably a little bit unrealistic, as is probably sugar beet and sugar cane and stuff, so I might leave those out. But I don't see why we couldn't use it to plant everything else. Looks like we're doing okay, not missing bits. The GPS mod's a great help. Definitely well worth investing the 15 grand to fit that to each vehicle. And like I say, when I come to do the harvest, I'll probably fit it to the harvester next as well. Certainly going to come in very useful when we do the ploughing, and extend the fields to get nice straight edges. Yeah, it's all looking good back there. Right, well, I'm going to carry on and get these fields sowed and planted. I'll bring you guys back once I am done. Okay, so that's all 3 fields planted with sunflowers. Job done. Ready for the next harvest. Wait a minute, what's that? What's going on over there? Can't be growing sunflowers yet, can it? Bloody weeds. They're not supposed to appear for 61 hours. God. We're going to have to get the mechanical weeder out and do all the fields. Delores was hoping to have an early night tonight, but she's not going to get it. We can fold that up now, because she's going to have to come back with the mechanical weeder. Unless we spray with the herbicide spray using the Valtra. Right, I'm going to get the power washer. Obviously, we've used the tool. We should give it a clean before we put it away. No, it didn't get that mucky, but still. Look after your tools and your equipment and tools will look after you. Same with your tractors. If you look after your tractors, they'll look after you. Job's a good one. It's hard to see, but we're going to reverse this back into the shed. Because this planter is going to be pretty much used exclusively with this John Deere. For the simple reason, this John Deere's got the front weights. Right. So how do I want to do the weeding? Do I want to do it with the Fiat? Or do I want to do it with the Valtra and the spray? We'll do it with the Fiat and the mechanical weeder, won't we? Whilst there's no crops on the field. It's not going to hurt me to do a bit of mechanical weeding. End of the day, drive it up and down fields. It's just if it spreads to all of them, which I'm assuming it's going to do, based on its course of action. No GPS, of course, on the Fiat. It's just a shame, really, that the weeds keep appearing. But I don't want to turn them off, because I did that on the Estancia series. I want to play with weeds, you know, play the game properly and deal with everything that the game throws at us. As I say, this is more of a... Because it's... I suppose because the fields are small, I'm not worried too much about the work and the length of time it takes to do things. Obviously on my Estancia series there was just no way I was ever going to stay on top of the weed situation. With the amount of fields that I had and the size of those fields, it was just going to be impossible. And I didn't have the growth control mod back then, so there was no way for me to stop the weeds from appearing as frequently as they were doing. I mean, they're still appearing quite frequently on this, aren't they? I mean, I might have to turn that growth factor up even more. I would have thought 61 hours was plenty. But maybe not. The thing is, I'm going to have to wait for the weeds to actually grow on the rest of the field. I wish they were a little bit more random in terms of how they actually appear, and the fact that they could, you know, I wish they would spring up like on one field and maybe not the next one. I certainly think this this business where they sort of zigzag the way down the map from top to bottom is a bit unrealistic, and Giant should have fixed that. Like I say, it would have been better if it was more random, where they appeared completely on, say, field 2, but then maybe not on 6, 7 and 5, and maybe appeared on field 10, you know, and just randomly appeared on fields. That would be better. So I'm going to have to obviously get the weeds done, and then I don't know how we stand as far as the next video goes, what the plan is. We will have to fertilise. The next video will be crop fertilising then, ready before the harvest. So I'm going to leave you guys now and call this video an end. Obviously, if you have enjoyed the video and enjoyed watching today's episode, feel free to click that like button. Obviously, leave any questions, comments, suggestions, etc. down in the comment section down below. And if you're not already doing so, please go ahead and click that subscribe button to the channel, as that really helps me out as a creator and helps the channel to grow. Myself and Delores will see you again very soon. So from now, from us, it is goodbye.